All right, welcome back to Within the Rep. This is episode number 18. Got my main man from across the pond on today, Coach Acos.
Yeah,
Is
you
that
got
correct?
it, bro. You got it, my man.
Right on. Yeah, very, very unique name. We are just kind of going over that. So happy to have you on today, my man. Feel free to
Happy to be
introduce
here, brother.
yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Acos or Acos if for you guys over the pond. Yeah, like coaching 22 years now. I'm 42. I know I don't look it. Yeah, 42. Long in the game. Long in the game. One of the old schools. One of the like new to functional medicine. I'd say last couple of years, functional medicine has been a big part of my life, a big change in my own health, and it's more performance nutrition and strength and conditioning, working with elite level athletes. Before that, still do that stuff, still educate. So I lecture or teach, however you say it, guys. At two universities over here in the UK on a part-time basis, which is really cool. Get to see the new up and coming coaches into the world, which is really fascinating. And I do love to just speak about this stuff, man. So we just love this stuff. So anytime we can talk about improving the body, getting people in better shape, living optimally, like we just want to talk. So it's another platform for me to just jump on there and do my thing, which is really cool.
Amazing. So 22 years in the games. What originally got you started in like the fitness industry? How did you move into that?
So I actually fell into it. I was actually sort of led into it more than anything. It was 19/20. I was lifting since I was 15. I actually blagged my way into a gym. You had to be 16 to join. But I looked about 21 when I was 16, when I was 15. So it was easy for me to get in. I said I was 16. I wanted to start lifting weights. I didn't know what I was doing. I was watching everyone. I was like benching every day, like what everyone does. And basically, my first degree was in like IT stuff, like tech stuff. And I just was like, this isn't for me. So I was down at the gym. I was speaking to the manager, and I was like, I'm just not feeling what I'm doing. I love training, blah blah blah. And she actually just said, "Look, I would pay for your qualifications. Let's get you in the gym. Let's do your fitness instructor's course, your personal trainer's course. Let's get you qualified. You've got great energy about you. You love training." So it was actually like offered to me, which was really cool. I got all my qualifications paid for, which was amazing at a young age. Didn't have to fork it out. And it sort of just spiraled like crazy. I just found something that I absolutely loved, started helping people, got great results, was within the first few months in that gym, was the top performing personal trainer as well as my old business partner. There was two of us just dominating. So yeah, just fell into it, my man. Just loved it ever since. 22 years later, we're still going, we're still grinding.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how did you just roll up in the gym and have just like such confidence that you're noticed and they're like, hey, we're gonna kind of fast track you into this position? Did you come from an athletic background or?
No, so actually, I was that overweight kid, right? So I was like the other way around. Like when I was, in my young teens, I was overweight. I didn't have control of my diet, and that was nothing to do with like most people say, oh, my upbringing or whatever. Like my parents ate pretty well. It was as soon as I was able to, buy my own food, go out shopping, I was making the wrong decisions. And yeah, so like being overweight as a teenager, it has an impact. Obviously, people say stuff, and then at 15, I just said, "Look, I'm going to make a decision here. I want to change." Literally, just the first time I stepped into a gym, I absolutely just loved it. Like I didn't get that anxiety. I know a lot of people start their journeys and they feel a bit anxious, or they see loads of people, or even just like, do you know, when like you step into a bodybuilding gym, right? And you think everyone in the gym's just going to be like gorilla meatheads and be judging you, and it's so not like that. But luckily for me, it was a proper meathead, muscle house gym. But I was just fascinated by everyone. I was asking them questions. So what do you do? How do you get your shoulders so big, dude? I was that like youngster, like asking all those cheesy questions. I didn't know what I was doing. I was hitting chest every day, Monday to Friday, just smashing chest. And then I just felt confident in that environment. I've always been able to talk to people, get to know them, like build rapport quite quickly. I think once you're able to do that, that's what makes you a good coach more than the fact that I really enjoyed it is my ability to just connect with someone, understand what they're trying to achieve, and genuinely want to see them do well. And then as soon as that the manager saw that in me, she was like, "We've got a good one here. Let's get him on board. Let's get him on board as quick as we can."
Mhm.
Fortunately, it was very much to do with that lady that where I am now, basically.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Bit of a crazy story, to be honest. Most people just know that they want to do it, right? How did you get into it? Like, how did you? What age was your first? Like, I need to do this for a living. This is my thing.
Well, I was always like pursuing sports. I kind of had a weird upbringing, but like bouncing around from school to school. So I kind of had the same feeling of, having a hard time being accepted and things like that. So I played football in high school. Then I graduated high school, came out to BC. I was like big into downhill skiing, mountain skiing, freestyle skiing, and just
Oh no.
partying all the time, just being a shithead, right? So I came to a turning point in my life where I was like, yeah, things need to change. And actually, one of my main drivers in like my passion of bodybuilding was primarily the UK scene. I think Jordan Peters probably was a big motivating
Yeah.
factor
Big
in that,
amount.
and that honestly paved my way. I started following him over 10 years ago, and that's how I found my first coach was through one of his clients that he was coaching. I hired as my coach, and I worked with him for almost 5 years, but I absolutely just fell in love with it because growing up, I'm like I didn't have great role models, I didn't have much structure, much guidance, so that's something I kinda always secretly longed for, I guess, and then
Right.
when I found a coach and someone who was like a proper alpha role model, like a proper man, a proper person who's gonna tell me, how it is and what needs to be done and, not always just pat me on the back or tell me what I wanna hear, but that was like the biggest change in my life, and I absolutely fell in love with it because, yeah, growing up, my whole childhood was just like, "Yeah, do whatever you want." Like,
Yeah.
there's no curfew, like, who cares, you know?
That's
Go out and
interesting.
party, no repercussions, like, get arrested, yeah, no repercussions,
Yeah.
like, get caught with drugs, like, "Yeah, it's okay. Go do it again
Yeah.
tomorrow." Like, so it was just a negative lifestyle, and honestly, if I didn't find, like, a coach or the gym, I don't think things would be the way they are today. I'm very grateful to found the gym. It was like a very good escape for me. Like releasing that addictive mentality and pushing into something else that is actually productive.
Yeah.
So that's what helped me. And ever since then, it's always been a passion of mine. Like it changed my life, and I know how much it can benefit others' lives. So that was a big passion for me. I was always in construction, pretty much since I left high school. I did that for about 17 years. And just last year, I left my full time job confidently, knowing that I could, maintain a good income doing this. So
What an
it's been a
amazing story.
motivation for me for like many years, but to have the confidence and, the know how and just like the belief in myself that I can do this and this is the right move, it took a while, right?
Absolutely. I think it's like it is daunting, right? So you've got this safety net of a job and you're in an industry that you can make a living in for a long time, right? But however much you do it, you're not passionate about it. It doesn't feed that fire. You don't wake up, and this is what like I talk about to people all the time. Like if you're doing something for like 50, 60 years of your time and it doesn't feed that fire in your belly and it doesn't serve a purpose for you other than just getting you paid. Like find something else. There's ways to do and we're very lucky, right? We both found an industry that we absolutely love. And every time we learn something new, we're just fascinated by the things that we learn about. And we're in a world where we're learning from everyone else. I'm learning from you, you're learning from me, we're learning from the others. And it's just a great place. I never feel like I'm at work, right? Like it's just never that feeling. And I do find it a shame when people like run their lives like, they're just that hamster on a wheel, right? They're just rolling through and, oh, it just pays the bills, oh, but it's Monday morning. I'm like, I'm buzzing to go on Monday mornings. Most Monday mornings, people are like dreading. I'm like, let's go. It's Monday morning. Let's
Yeah,
get at it.
most of the time I don't even know what day of the week it is. I'm like double checking with my wife. I'm like, is it Monday today? Is it Tuesday today? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, that's the fitness, that's the health coach is we don't have a Monday to Friday. We work Sunday mornings, we work Saturday evenings
Yeah.
whenever people need me, especially when we're working with people in Australia, people in the US, and like probably the same for you, dude. It's like different time zones you got to be working on them.
Yeah, and that's it. Like I work 7 days a week. Some days I work like crazy hours, but it doesn't really feel like work. It's just something I enjoy doing, right? So
Right.
I can happily sit at the computer for 12, 13 hours and just put in a good day's work. And this
Yeah.
doesn't even feel like work. It's just something I enjoy doing where I have, work construction, sitting in an excavator for, 12, 13 hours, 6 days a week. And I mean,
Yeah.
I did enjoy it, but it is tough. Like you're away from home, you're like some days you could be working that whole time, or some days, they don't have anything for you. You're just kind of sitting there for 6 hours until something has
Yeah.
to be done. And it's just like, I could be doing so much with this time, it's just
Yeah, man.
sitting here wasting my life away to make, 40, $50 after taxes an hour. It's like,
That's crazy. Mate, I mean, I never had to do it because I'd done it from a young age. I actually, maybe I did do it because there was a stint where I was a manager, a regional manager for a fitness chain over here. And at that point was when I was like, I don't want to do the corporate side of it. But I've been in the industry and around the industry for a while. But like that fascinates me to like have that confidence to leave a full-time job and to just be like, I'm balls deep. I'm all the way in, man. I love that.
yeah, it's hard. Like, it's super hard. I think it's probably the biggest fear that keeps people trapped, right? Because
Yeah.
I would say it's almost like it doesn't seem real. Like you are taught to believe this, system. You get paid, you show up to work, you get paid. I made a good income working in construction. I had lots of experience, so I made plenty each month. And it's hard to leave that because I guess it's your safety net. It's just all you know, right? Like it doesn't seem fathomable that you could go replace your income in 3 or 4 days work a month when you're typically doing 20 days of work, working 10-hour days to get this income. It just doesn't seem like realistic. It doesn't even seem like it's a reality until
Yeah.
you go do it, and then you're like, holy shit, I just literally made my month's income in a few days, and
It's mad, yeah.
this is like something I'm actually passionate about. There's this funny video on Instagram too. He's like this really popular creator. You might have seen it, but he's looking out the window and it's like himself and there's another version of himself beside him. And he's like, let's just go for it. And he's like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, man, let's just do it. He's like, well, what if? He's like, well, what if what? He's like, well, what if we don't make it? He's like, then I'll see you right back here.
Yeah. I love that, man.
Like, oh, like what? Like we're gonna sit here and make this decision. Like even if we don't make, even if nothing works out, we'll just be right back to here where we were just talking about this.
Yeah.
Like what do we got to lose? Like let's just go for it.
I think the only way you do it, and I think the only way you're successful, and if there's any coaches that are listening, like sitting on the sidelines, I'd say the only way that you are successful is to burn the boats and not doing, you can't dip your foot in. Like you can't be like, oh, I'll just try it out and see how many, clients I can get. Maybe I can do some work on evenings and maybe I can do some Saturday. Like if you know truly within you that you're not serving a purpose, and you're not feeding that fire, like I say, the only way is to just burn the boats. And, I have this philosophy that you can make money out of anything as long as you're passionate about it. You solve a problem and you work hard for it. That's literally it. That is literally it. I mean, I know a guy who's a multi-millionaire and he kills insects for a living. Like that. It doesn't matter what you do. It's not what about that. It's about find something that sparks that fire and just go and get it, and you'll get it done, you know, and you're the living proof that it can be done. But I'm sure when you heard about, you know, when you joined ECA and you're talking to the coaches were talking, because I knew I was, you were like, yeah, yeah, you're talking about these big months. Is it real? Like, you know, like sounds like a bit of a fugazi. I don't know if you guys use fugazi as a term, like
Yeah, I know what it means.
you
I think
do.
I was made popular in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, that's it. Fugazi. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
yeah.
it just sounds like a thing that's like everyone talks about in these big months and these crazy revenues. It's not even about that. It's about just doing something that you love, showing people how you can help them solve a problem, work fucking hard at it, and the result is the result. And it always seems to pan out, right?
Mhm. I wish I remember this. There's this producer in Hollywood. I forget his name. He's a music like he's a music producer. He helps like lots of the top artists. He's a really cool guy. He's got like long hair and stuff. He's super chill. But he talks about this. He's like, you can't make a product, like you can't make a piece of art, like a piece of music in hopes that it like you can't make it with a goal for it to be like successful, for it to to bring in sales. Like you have to
Yeah,
make it just as like a piece of authentic like art, like a product,
yeah,
and that will bring in the revenue if it brings it in. But that's the
yeah,
only thing. Like you can't think of it from the other way. You have to think of it from the starting point. Like just the image, the creativity, the authenticity of the actual thing that you are creating, whether that's a movie, a product, a piece of music, etc., right? But you have to be so focused on like creating something so amazing that the end result, hopefully you'll get something out of it, but that can't be the main focus, right? So I think like with coaching, like yeah, it's something you can move into full time, but you have to be like very, very passionate. You have to give everything you have to it, right? Like you have to continue learning, you have to continue trying new things and seeing new ways, right? It's not about just one size fits all and I can write a plan and I'm going to make $1 million this year. It's not like that, right?
yeah. You got to solve a problem that a lot of people aren't, or like have your own sort of philosophy. But I think what you said was powerful, man, because it's like my philosophy is like, I think the guys or the girls out there that like chase something in terms of an income related outcome, the more you chase something, the more it will elude you. You just got to just do a fucking good job.
Yeah.
I think like music production and things like that is on a different scale, right? But we're just all we've got to do is just change people's lives. We just got to make them better, you know? You do that, like they tell their friends, you know, people see the changes, people recognize what you're doing, people want to be part of it.
Hmm.
You don't need to force it, not in our industry. Like the more you chase the revenue or the outcome of being successful, the more it will elude you, the further you'll be away from it.
Hmm.
Definitely, sure.
So I want to ask you, how did you like get into teaching university classes or speaking at universities?
So when I done my master's in strength and conditioning,
Hmm.
I I owned my own gym at the same time, and I had my first daughter. And this is how we do it, right? So like we just go all in. But um I wanted to expand my knowledge. I wanted to work with more elite levels. So obviously as you start as a coach, you work with sort of a baseline level, you know, maybe newbies, maybe, a lot of weight loss goals, things like that. I wanted to expand my knowledge. I wanted to be more advanced. So I went to do the strength and conditioning masters. And I just, again, absolutely opened a new world of understanding, an advanced system of periodization, understanding how you progress and looking at, yearly plans. And because I loved it so much, I worked so hard at it. Obviously, the result was I got a distinction. And, when we graduated, my course leader just came to me and said, like, out of all the students that we've had on this course, you're going to be in my top three of people that have come in through this program and absolutely smashed it. And it was actually at that point of graduation that he said, I'd love to have you come back in. Because obviously, what was what happens with academia is you have a lot of this theory based stuff, right? And we look at studies and we know how to break down studies and we know how to be critical in terms of what the actual outcomes were, not just looking at abstracts. We're breaking it all down, but it's still very data based and it's not practical knowledge. However, when I done my masters, I was 20, I was nearly 30 actually. I'd already done sort of 10 years in the industry and of practical application. Um, so my ability to gather the data and practically apply it was at a higher level. So what he wanted to do was bring me in to bridge that gap between theory-based understanding, evidence-based understanding, and practical application. Because what was happening over in the UK is we were getting these amazing coaches, but they were book coaches. They were like textbook coaches, and then they got a team of people, or they got an athlete, a young athlete, and they couldn't apply their theory into knowledge and to practice. So that was my goal. That was my goal, to come in and support in terms of practical application. And I covered certain areas like training adolescent athletes, youth athlete, the development of youth athletes, how you measure their success. And I've been literally going back ever since. So that's probably about 10 years now that I've been going back ever since. The next one is in April, which is really cool. Like, I just go back when they need me and I support the program, because it was a platform for me to excel and progress, and it went from there. And then basically what happened was another university reached out to Greenwich, so Westminster University reached out and said, we're looking for a guy, exercise science with nutritional knowledge. We need to cover these cohorts. We need to cover these modules. And I just came in as a support lead in those exercise and nutrition modules for the master's students. And my goal is always to treat every individual that in there is like as on my level. So I always talk to them the same level. I'm not teaching them, I'm not lecturing them, I'm just asking them the right questions. And I'm getting them to express themselves. And then I think if you can get someone who's got really good understanding of the knowledge to then be able to really just open up and apply it and communicate well, then you've got a really good coach, and then you develop your skills over time. So yeah, I love that side of it actually. I couldn't do it full time. You just kids can be kids, right?
Yeah.
But it's a really good experience every time I go back, and I love to see these young coaches just coming through like ready to dominate. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's funny. One thing you said there is, it kind of reminds me of, I like to call it a quote from a coach over in the UK too. His name's Christian Chapman, if you know the man. Had him on a few
Yeah,
a few weeks ago, but he says sometimes you just gotta kind of you gotta toss away the book, you know?
yeah, 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 for sure.
Like, you have to, like, we can look at, these facts, these studies, etc., what people have done in the past, what peaks have worked, on and on. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, some of the best things that you can do is just toss the book away and trust your judgment. Trust the things you've seen and learned over the years and just roll with that, right? Opposed to just following like the anecdotal method that is said to work, because sometimes, there's ways that we can work around it as well.
Yeah, I think no one would need a coach if there was a cookie cutter process that worked for everyone, but everyone's physiology is completely different. I think being a good coach means making mistakes and learning from your mistakes and trialing things and going, well, that didn't work and that was terrible. And now I've got that knowledge that not that peaking protocol works with everyone, right? I can't
Mhm.
run that with, females at 50 where I would run that with a guy at 30. So like I love that term, like toss away the book. Like that's when you're at your next level part of your coaching career is your ability to. And I think that the master's programs or like advanced academia, the job is to never give you the answer. Like a degree level stuff, like a baseline foundation is this is the this is the data. This is what happens. This is how much protein someone needs. This is how many carbs needs for this sport. But then as you advance, it's actually giving you the understanding that you get this information and you need to be able to practically apply it and critically analyze it and know what to do with it, right? Like you're not going to just read a study and go, oh, 15 grams of creatine does this. Everyone must take 15 grams of creatine. Like, that's not how it works. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, I've got this information. When can I use it? When would it be good? When will it maybe not be so great? You know, what other factors do I need to take into consideration? That's all the stuff. And that comes with time. And you make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I've made a hell of a lot of mistakes in 22 years. But every time you make a mistake, I think the key thing is to, if you make it again, like the first time is fine. But if you make the same mistake twice, you're just not learning, right? So the whole point of making mistakes is learning from them, evolving and adapting your process.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, making mistakes, I think that's like subjective because, I mean, at the end of the day, ultimately you cannot be a magician and just wave the
No.
magic wand, right? Like things, sometimes you just have to, you have to trial things, right? It's just as simple as that. Like, because there is, like you said, a study could say 15 grams of creatine. I mean, that might be good for this person in certain circumstances, but not good in the other circumstance, right? So finding what works in different realms is really the key.
Yeah, maybe
And
not in the term of a mistake, like you haven't made a mistake, you found that the information that was provided doesn't work with this person or it didn't work with that person. So when you next get another client and you go, okay, will that work? Are they similar characteristics there? That I would say maybe I would need to adjust that protocol for that person and maybe try. And you know, all these dosages, timings for supplements, everything is all, you can blanket statement everything, right? Like take that AM, take this PM, you know, this one will work. We were discussing before we went on the podcast live, like how someone can have an amazing result with something and then the next person can have a completely different result. And you need to be ready to adapt, right? Like if you've only got one protocol that you follow because you probably followed it from someone else, like when that doesn't work, what do you do? How do you adapt? How do you move in different directions and find a way forwards? That's one of the biggest things, isn't it? More than making mistakes.
yeah, exactly. I mean, even in applications on myself, like I will, see things that aren't working and so things that have worked before and all of a sudden just aren't working anymore or causing issues or having side effects, etc., right? So, I mean, it can be as simple as just working with yourself and these things that used to work one day, no longer work through adaptive change or metabolic disorder or whatever is going on, right?
Yeah. How many bloods have you done where you thought like, yep, I've got the solve for yourself? I mean, I think that the hardest thing in the world is to coach yourself, right? I think I would say out of I can pretty much be confident to coach anyone other than myself because I don't think you make the right decisions for yourself. Like, I don't know, it's such a weird thing, right?
Yeah. For me, like I can coach myself pretty well from like the outside perspective and not like get too emotionally attached, but I find the hard thing for me is like pushing to the next stage because like I am a bodybuilder myself and when I do coach myself, maybe I'm a little bit more conscious of things, like maybe I won't push as hard, maybe I won't push food, compounds, things as
Yeah.
hard, maybe I won't push training as far, push the training cycle as long,
Yeah.
but maybe that's a detriment to me because I don't know, it's hard to say because am I playing it safe or am I just cutting it short? Could I be doing more? Could I be doing less? So I like to have a coach because, it takes out the guesswork, right? Like
I think,
today, I've been sick for the past week. I'm pretty into a growth phase. I was like 256 256 about before I got sick, and now I'm like within 7 days of being sick, a few days not eating. Now I'm down to like 239.
yeah.
I haven't done any um testosterone or anything like that since I've been sick, just because I didn't want to cause any more foreign inflammation, so I just kept it out. Now on my side of things, I'd be like, well, we've been sick for this long. We've already, come off like our cycle for the past week per se. Food's already dialed back. We've already dropped 15. Inflammation's a lot lower. Body's a lot tighter, holding less water.
Yeah.
So what do we do here? Do we just go into a cruise, go into a health phase, tighten up, or do we go back to where we started before getting sick? So that's
Yeah.
like, and then I would say this, like in the past, if I was working for myself, I would probably say, let's just go into the cruise phase because we're already, a little ways into it, a week into it. But then the other side of me would say, have we done this in the past before? Yes. Is that costing us like this progress? Like, are we just like hitting this like this cycle when really we need to like kick back in, let grow, let it marinate, and that's going to cause, greater
Yeah.
progression. So
Yeah.
that's like, this is like the questions I have. Like, I could easily make these judgment calls, but what is the best answer? I
But
mean,
that's exactly why you don't coach yourself, bro. Can I tell you why? Is you over analysis leads to paralysis, bro.
mhm,
You just never, you constantly second guess. So you'll go into a cruise phase and you'll be in that cruise phase for a week. And then you'll be like, and I shouldn't have done the cruise phase. I need to go back into the growth phase. And then you'll start the growth phase and you may feel, a little bit of inflammation come back in, a little bit more, water retention. You'll be like, I should have stuck to the cruise phase. And you're constantly second guessing your decisions. And you don't, I think for myself, I think a lot of people coach themselves really well. But for myself, just having an outside perspective of, even if sometimes you don't agree, like many paths can lead to the same destination at the end, right? Like there's not one road in how you get to the end result of 2026, whatever your physique goals are, whether you cruise phase or growth phase now, like it's just how it's structured, and then what the end result is going to be is you can still get the exact same result with different paths. The one thing that will absolutely completely destroy your progress is jumping from different paths. And that's what we
mhm,
tell our clients, right? That's what we tell our, like, you don't need the most perfect program. You don't need the most perfect protocol, but you just need to stick to something long enough to get the progress out of it and then move to something else. And
mhm,
that, I think for me, when I coach myself, I just find myself overanalyzing, looking at things in too much depth. When I don't do that for clients, I can see the surface level and go, well, this is clearly the lowest hanging fruit on what we need to focus on right now. Like we
mhm,
don't need to think about 8 months time. We need to fix this right now. Let's get this done. Right.
mhm.
I can't do that for myself. I do that like, but what about happens 8 months time? What happens this? What happens then? I just fucking, this thing doesn't turn off.
Yeah,
So
you can no longer be rational. It gets like a little bit of emotionally, attached, right?
for sure, man, for sure. The emotion, you got to take the emotion. Logical processes driven by good rationale, good decision making. And, if you've got a good enough coach, it's a collaborative effort, right? My coach. I mean, bodybuilding is different because it is a lot of the time it is like, my coach said this, I must do this. Uh, I mean, outside of bodybuilding, it's very much collaborative in terms of like elite level athletes. Like, you don't need to tell Novak Djokovic or like the best fucking, basketball players in the world exactly what to do. You just need to, give them the right sort of advice so they make the right decisions. And they already know what they need to do. They just need that little push in the right direction. So
Mhm,
that's exactly it for me. Like, and I don't like to look at my own bloods too much. I think I overanalyze. I look at every single goddamn marker and go, why the hell is that still? Why is ferritin still at this level? Just like you're forgetting that all of these things interlink, and they're not one marker is not specific to one action. It's all these little chemical messengers that are happening these are just little touch points. And
mhm,
I can give that rationale every time I do a bloods analysis, but when I analyze my own bloods, I overanalyze. So the one thing my bloods go elsewhere. My man has a look, tells me what I need to do, and then we'll like explore options, like where's the bottleneck here? What's happening here? Like the weirdest one right now, I like thought I was absolutely sorted was waking up at between 2 and 3 a.m. And it's nothing to do with cortisol. So it's like, well, we believe it's nothing to do with cortisol, but it's like I'm getting hypoglycemic. I'm getting hypo in the evening. So like, why am I going hypoglycemic like randomly? Because then when you go hypoglycemic, it triggers a response to drive a glucose response, and then I get a spike. You get like a glucose spike at like 3. And so like I eat and my blood glucose is like perfect, and
Mhm.
then my biggest glucose spike is 3 a.m. It's
Mm.
just insane. That's cool, isn't it? That's the one for like all us coaches to break down. But if I try and analyze that myself, like it's just I just overanalyze it, overthink it, and then my man just tells me what I need to do. I get it done, and we get a good result. And if it does not quite a good result, we change little things. But like it's just much easier for me to just you tell me, I'll do what you say.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, for bodybuilders, I would say, it's not as just like as cut and dry as you should just listen to your coach. I think, like you said, there should be a collaborative effort. My coach, he's an amazing guy. We have a lot of the same belief patterns, like the thought patterns behind functional health and education. He sees
Nice.
pretty in line with like the teachings behind what Justin Mahaley teaches in ECA and whatnot. So yeah, it's really dialed. It's a really good partnership to have, but I think that is the most optimal way to make progress in bodybuilding. Mind you, if you are a newer athlete and you have less experience, less education, maybe listen to your coach a little bit more. But if you're like a high level athlete, 10 years in, you have lots of experience, lots of education, your body, you understand, how things work, you should be communicating the process because that's going to lead to a better result. I mean, at the end of the day, you want the most optimal physique, right? So you got to have optimal communication, optimal process, optimal everything.
Well, I mean, when it comes down to your level of coaching, Farren, it's like it's got to be collaborative because you understand why they're doing a certain thing, right? So your coach will say to you, Farren, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and this is why. And he'll tell you that because you understand the whys, right? But like a newer athlete, the coach is going to say, this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to do. And they could try and explain the why. But if you don't have the education behind yourself to understand what that means, then the collaborative effort can't be there because you're not understanding what we're trying to achieve with the response that we're putting in. So then absolutely you must just sort of follow the plan and then feedback to your coach and say, coach, this is what I'm feeling, this is what's happening. Is
Hmm.
this the goal? Like, is this what we're trying to achieve? And then like, yep, this is what we want to do. This is how we want you to feel.
Yeah.
And that's the collaborative effort. But for us on our level, dude, like we understand it. So we don't need someone telling us what to do because we don't understand it. We need someone telling us what to do so we don't make those conflicting decisions. But
Hmm.
it's always collaborative because if I don't the thing is, if I don't believe the method of what my coach has told me to do is right, if we haven't discussed like this is the result, this is what will happen, and I don't believe that, I'm not going to really do it properly, right?
Yeah. No, for sure.
There's no buy-in, right? The buy-in. I talk about buy-in a lot. Like if the only time you coach someone and they don't really know the benefit of doing something, they're just not really going to do it because they don't get it, right?
Yeah, and you gotta trust the process end of the day, like you said. And you should I think what it comes down to is respecting your coach. Like if you have a doubt and you think you know more than your coach, then just go do your own thing, brother. Because
Yeah, man.
don't disrespect your coach. Don't waste their time. They're going above and beyond for you. I mean, I know what most coaches charge across the industry, even the higher ticket coaches. And honestly, for what they put up with and what they have to deal with, and especially working with high level athletes, they should be charging a lot more. So they will be charging a lot more too in the future. So just be grateful for who you work with and be grateful that you have a coach and a mentor and somebody who gives you the time of day because there's a lot of coaches who don't give you the time of day. So if you have that, respect that, trust the process, and you will see results. I've worked with clients who've done this and doubted me and etc. And it's going to make the process a lot more difficult. Like if you have doubts about working with somebody, just work with somebody you respect because it's going to be so much easier for you. You should trust the process. You should trust the captain behind the ship, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
they're there to lead you
Without that,
to.
then you've got the wrong coach, right? Like
Yeah.
if there's like, should I be doing this? And that's not the coach's fault and that's not your fault. I don't know. Like sometimes again, like picking a coach is more about like, do you see in the person in front of you as like do you trust what they're going to say? Like, is that trust, is that buy in there? Like, have they shown you enough of, and do you trust them enough that whatever they're saying is going to be the right way for you? And if as soon as you doubt that, the problem is, even if, whether it was the right approach or the wrong approach, because of your doubt and your belief system, you're not going to get the result out of it. So it could be the exact protocol that you need to do to get to the exact result. But if there's even an element of doubt or 1 minute of doubt that process that you're doing, should I be doing this? You're not gonna release the potential. You're not gonna put the effort in, and you're not gonna follow it how it should be done. And then ultimately, then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's so goddamn frustrating because they don't believe it's going to work, so they don't really put the effort in, right? So then, what's the result? Of course, they don't get to where they want to be, and then it reinforces, yeah, I knew it wouldn't work. Well, it didn't work because you didn't fucking do it properly. It's not
Yeah, and
the
it didn't work because you told yourself it wouldn't work from day one. Like, the mental
exactly.
shift is such a huge thing. It is so powerful, you know? Like, if you
Sure, man.
it's funny, even around injuries, you can harbor on an injury. You can think about it all day. It's funny, you know, I have this happen quite often to me throughout my life, but I'll have like pick up really bad nicks and I'll stress about it. I'll focus on it. I'll stretch it a few days and then I just forget about it. And it just like resolves itself. It's just like the focus, the stress, the tension of just like having it at the forefront of my brain was the problem. And then like something else comes up in life. I got to do some errands. And then like 2 days later, I'm like, fuck, I thought my back was out, you know, and then now it's just all good, you know, and it's not crazy. It's not woo woo. Like you do create the reality with your mind, right? If you doubt your success, like don't expect to be successful, you know, you should be passionate. You should have that law of attraction in your mind. Even working with a coach, you know, like I said, you got to trust the process. You got to respect the person you're working with because inevitably that's going to cross into your mind and your thought patterns, and that's going to be what makes the progress, right?
Bro. Preach on that, man. A massive believer in that. And it's like where focus goes, energy flows, right? And the brain and the body doesn't know whether that's negative or positive. It will just drive energy. So you focus on something negative, the energy will flow there and you will be in this negative state. And if you focus on your injury and you're like, this goddamn injury is killing me, and you're putting energy into that, into the focus of that injury. And again, what happens, it's a heightened response, nervous system dominance, like you're just locked into that pain and you can't get out of it, and it's crazy. That I'm a big believer of that, and I love the law of attraction.
It's funny, we were talking about the emotional side of things too, about decision making. I just had a person reach out to me on IG last night. Most of the people reaching out to me are reaching out about peptides, GLPs, things like that, because that's what a lot of my content is around. And this message is funny because it's exactly what we're talking about. This person's like, I'll try and remember it the best I can. I'm gonna just kind of freewheel it, but she's like, I started at 10 milligrams. I was feeling great. Things were going really good. So I bumped it up to 12 and then things weren't going so good. So I dropped it down to 8. But then I noticed like fat loss slowed down. So I bumped it up to 10. But then I noticed like my cheeks were getting too like lean. My face was getting too lean. So I bumped it back down to 8. So it's like 10, 12, 8, 10, 8 in like the course of like a couple months. And she's like, I'm like, okay, so what we're getting at here is you just want like body recomposition and like a structured process. Is that what
Yeah,
you're asking me?
yeah,
She's just
just
like telling
goddamn
me
stick
like
to
I'm just
something.
back and forth. I don't know what I want. I'm like, okay, what is the XYZ here of this problem?
Yeah, I love it how they want you to solve it all in an Instagram message as well. Like,
Oh
please give me all the
man,
answers. Like,
people are
what's
so
your
rude.
nutrition like?
Yesterday,
What's your sleep like? Like, how long have you been on it? And like, what? Just no. Like, what should I do? Should I bump it up? Should I bump it down? Like, oh my gosh, what do you want from us? That's not.
people are
Yeah,
so rude, man. I'm like, some
yeah,
guy asked me yesterday. He like writes a whole long paragraph. I like ask him a couple of follow-up questions. I'm like, I think it'd be best if we just, you know, talk about this on a call, go over things, you know, get you some proper structure set up here. And he's like, the hell I'm gonna book a call with you if you can't even answer a simple question. I'm like, I'm like, okay, fair enough. I'll answer your question. I'll just like summarize it. But to put it briefly, like you're pretty much fucked. And here, if you want me to answer your question properly, answer these 10 questions about biofeedback. Right.
Yeah,
So I put all the questions there. And then I was like, see, this is much more easy to just audit internally and get you dialed. Right.
yeah, that's
No
it.
response. No response. Some old guy from the States, like 60 years old, like big
Yeah,
hunter, like a deer hunter kind of guy. It's like,
yeah.
slow down, slow your roll, buddy. Like you wouldn't walk up to somebody like in a lab, like, hey man, I have some questions for you. But he's like, yeah, I can talk to you you know, shortly at my lunch break. He's like, the fuck you will. You'll answer my questions right now. Excuse me, bro? Like, how about you get the fuck out of here? I don't know you.
Dude,
I
I
don't have
love
to
that.
help you. I don't have to give
that
you the time of day. Like, why are people on Instagram so goddamn disrespectful? Like, I give out so much free information, and then you come in here all entitled, like, expecting I owe you something. Like, what?
But that's just the Instagram world, bro. But it's like it's not even the Instagram world. It's just the social media or the text via a platform. It's like I've seen people create the videos on the discussion from their DMs in real life. It's like how much how much testosterone should I take? And you're like, well, I'm not sure. And then like I need to know a bit about you, how long this and that. And then the guy just walks out. Because he's just ghosted you for the next 3 days because you haven't
Yeah,
answered the exact question
yeah.
they wanted. That would never work in a real world. Someone wouldn't just run up to you and be like, Farren, how much testosterone should I take? And then you're like, well, I could help you. And then they just run away.
Yeah, like,
They have no, it's like there's no integrity, like, because, that they can text when they want. There's no respect there enough. Lots of people do respect you. For every one person that's like that online, we get like a great amount of conversations going, and we speak to people daily, right?
yeah, oh yeah.
And we actually solve so much. I think you do, and I do as well. We over deliver in our DMs, and we give so much free information, and we actually can get people moving so quick with just clear, well, that just clearly indicates this for me. I would try this, and then they have a great win. And I think that's quite powerful anyway, to have such a quick win for something that's someone's been struggling with for maybe years that couldn't solve. They've been to the doctors, they've been to every, consultant, and then you can actually clearly see, well, that's a pattern of this. Maybe just try this and feedback to me, see how you get on, and they come back like, "Oh my god, that was a game changer. You've changed my life." You're like, "Wow!" So there's for every person that just sparks orders and protocols for you to do on DMs. Like you can also have quite a big impact, which is
No,
pretty
for
cool.
sure, for sure. There's always going to be the negative side of things. There's always going to be the people who just are there just to hear themselves make noise, right? But there is that great cohort of people too who are making, tremendous progress and actually like applying the information or getting to work one on one and making even more progress. And I even had a client, not a client, but a follower from New York. He's a police officer. He was going to work with me last year in October, but he was dealing with like working with an HRT clinic already. So I gave him just some general advice, and he's continued to follow my page. And he sent me like a transformation picture in January just from following my page. The guy lost like 40, 50 pounds, like looks like a
Wow.
completely new man. Like used to be like overweight. Now he's like jacked. He's got like an Instagram page himself now and like for his fitness and stuff. He's
So
like,
cool.
I did this all just through like the information you released on your page. I'm like, damn, that's pretty good. That's awesome, man. I'm stoked for you. I'm like, do you mind if I like share this in my testimonials? He's like, no, dude, go for it. I was like, fucking right. So that's what it's all about, like that's the thing
Absolutely.
too. If you're just respectful and if you come talk to me respectfully, I'll happily help you. But if you act like some entitled little prick, like don't expect anything. It's actually kind of goes back to what you very open the conversation with, like going into the gym as a young guy and kind of, asking the big dudes like, dude, how do you get your delts and stuff like so big and stuff, right? It's not like
Yeah.
that anymore, man. Like kids in the gym are so arrogant and they're so rude. They're so entitled. I had this kid one day. There's these 3 kids. Hopefully my gym owner doesn't listen to my podcast. No, he doesn't. There's these three
You're
kids
find
in
yourself
there,
a new
and
gym.
I tell them like, they're all on the pec deck machine, right?
Right.
So they're like they're circuiting, the three of them. Well, the one kid on the machine is sitting on his phone while the other two resting are sitting on their phones. I'm like, bro, you know, there's three of you working. Like, you should be doing your set right now. You could be on your phone when your other homie's on the machine. He looks at me like, yeah, okay, buddy. And I'm like, bro, put your fucking phone down and do your set. And he's like, who's even asking you? Or something stupid, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it doesn't matter who's fucking asking. I was like, this is a full gym. There's fucking people waiting to use that machine, and I'm one of them. And you dummies are just sitting there on your fucking phones, right? And he's like, and I was talking just like this to him because he's like right beside me. And he's like, why are you raising your voice? And I'm like, you're such a fucking arrogant little twat. I come back to the gym the next day, the gym owner's like, I'm like, if I'm like, I don't want to kick you out of the gym, but you can't do that again. Like, this guy's dad
Wow.
came in and like said, I'm gonna fucking deal with this guy if you don't deal with him. I just laughed so hard,
Yeah.
like,
How would that work, mate?
bro, you're probably like 5 years older than me. Like, okay, like let's see you come deal with me, but okay. And then like, how about if that was my kid, I'd fucking backhand him across the head and be like, don't be so disrespectful to people like in a
Yeah.
public place. Like this is a like this is your elder. Like don't be disrespecting people who are like literally twice your size. You're lucky, you know? Like what kind of father is like, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna tell on him
He
myself.
obviously didn't. He obviously didn't get from his son what guy had done it, and like the size of the guy. Like, oh, he knew the size of you, so that's why he went to the manager and said, "Deal with him."
Yeah, even then though, you know, it's just like,
You're not dealing with shit, bro. Let's get that clear. You're not dealing with shit. But
yeah, I
like,
know. It's
yeah, you feel
crazy.
sorry for your son, and your son feels a bit like embarrassed. But like, the gym etiquette has gone, man. I'm an old school. Like, you know, we got our shit done. We did it together. We worked in sets, and it was just a completely different environment. But I've got a short story for you. Over 22 years, I've never seen it where I went up to a guy. We've got this cable machine in our gym that has these axis rotations for the cables. So like the cables go up and down, but then they have rotations like so you can just get any angle that you want, right? So it's quite a popular machine because you can just really just get the alignment that you want.
Mhm.
So first time in my life, I go up to this guy. He's been on the machine about 5 minutes, and I say to him, and I'm polite, you know, I'm a big guy, so I know I can be a bit scary. I'm 6'3", you know, I'm like, you know, in your terms, I'm like 230 pounds, big dude.
Mhm.
So I'm just like, dude, can I ask, like, how many sets have you got left? And he's like, bro, I'm going to be about 30 minutes here. I'm going to do, yeah, I couldn't believe it, bro. Honestly, I've never heard of it. Like, it was just what I'm going to do up, I'm going to do the low, I'm going to do the middle, I'm going to do this. And I was like, okay, sweet, bro. Like, absolutely fine. But this is in my program. Do you mind if I jump in with you? So he looks at me, he scoffs, and he turns away from me. So he basically says to me, like, no, I'm
Yeah.
doing my shit. So then I was like, excuse me, like, bro, I just want to work in with you. I'm not asking you to leave the machine. Well, I was here first. But what? You're saying you're going to be there for 30 minutes, bro. Like, I was in this world, like, I never heard this shit in my life. Like, we come from a generation, like, it doesn't matter who you are and what level you're at. Like, someone wants to jump in, you just work together. You just like, yeah, get your shit done. You do your set, I'll do my set. Like, no problem at all. And he didn't want to share that machine. He wanted me to come back for 30 minutes later. And that was not happening. It was like, fucking hell, what's going on in these gyms, bro? What is
Yeah.
happening?
Most of the time, unless it's a guy who's like superior to me, like meaning like they are a very good bodybuilder and very big, but even then, usually if I ask to work in, they're probably going to say yes. But
Yeah.
if it's somebody, you know, just like what I would just say a civvy or something, I'm being like, I am working in. There's no question of can I work in. It's just like, yo, bro, how many sets do you have left? Two. Good. Okay, I'm working in.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like because I'm not fucking taking a no for an answer. It's like yes is the only answer here. If you have a problem with it, like I'll just fucking take the machine.
Well, this was an older guy, and he was in good shape, so he's been in the gym for a while. I can't believe I'm the only person that's ever asked him to working with something. I've not seen him in a gym since. Not saying we had a big confrontation, but there was a bit of a hoo-ha, there was a bit of a like, and I'm not seeing him in the gym since. And it was just like I can be a scary guy. Like if I always say if I do something wrong and I step out into a court and there's a jury judging me, I'm already guilty. Just because, like, it's game over. Like, I'm never getting out of that. Yep, that guy's guilty. Look at him. He's massive. He's like, scary dude. And like, so I'm like very conscious of my presence. So I'm always quite, respectful, especially for like a guy who's older than me. I have massive respect. And then I just could not believe we got into a confrontation of the fact that he wanted to use a bit of equipment for 30 minutes and thought that was okay. So yeah, I don't think he'll do it again. I think he's learned that that's not cool. And yeah, I don't know, what do you do on a piece of equipment for 30 minutes anyway? Seriously, like,
Yeah, honestly, man, like I'm the same way. I'm like a bigger guy. I have face tattoos, neck tattoos. So
yeah,
I'm pretty quiet and respectful in the gym. I just try and mind my own business because I don't want any like wrong associations with how I am. So usually if
yeah,
someone's on a machine for a long time, I'm just like, you know what, whatever. If I'm not even gonna entertain this being a problem, let's go do something else today, because you know what I mean? Because people are just like, they'll just go and tell on you. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. Like just because but my gym is really cool actually. Like for the most part, I'm super happy guy, super chill guy. Like
yeah.
I actually had a crazy conversation in my gym because some guy was like really rude to like a woman in there. And I like had my headphones off at the time, and he was like being rude to her on the machine, like asked her if he could use the machine, and she's like no, and he's like being all rude, and I was like, bro, shut your fucking mouth right now. And he's like, what'd you say to me? And I'm like, yeah, I just told you to like zip it, bro. And he's like, yeah, you're saying that because you're twice my size. And I'm like, exactly. So I listen. And then he like gets in this kung fu stance. He's like this really weird person. He
Did he
gets
get
in the
into a
kung.
kung fu?
Yeah, dude. He's like, come at me. And I'm like, I just burst out laughing. And then like at the end of the whole situation, he did get removed from the gym because he was being just rude and whatnot.
Holy
But,
shit.
you
Holy
know.
shit.
Yeah, there's always
Kung fu
weird
stance.
situations in the gym,
Yeah,
right?
that's crazy, man. I haven't had anyone do kung fu stance on me yet, though.
It was hilarious, man. I'm like, I just like stepped back. I'm like,
Yeah, I
this
don't
is
know what I'd
too
do with that.
funny, bro. I'm like, you're hilarious, man.
Oh, that's
He looked
fucking
like
brilliant.
he was like 5'2", looked like Borat, just hilarious, bro. You know
He
what I
would fuck
mean?
you up, bro.
Yeah, I'm
You
sure
gotta
he
worry about the
would.
small ones.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. Just pick
That's
him
it,
up.
you know.
Just pick him up like a sack of potatoes and just walk him downstairs, like just like a child.
That's a fucking great story, mate. I've never heard that one. Kung fu stance. I'm gonna try that in the gym, see what
Yeah. Well, my man, I know it's getting late over there. I don't want to keep too much of your time today, so I appreciate
appreciate
having
that,
you
man.
on. This
Yeah,
guy's the
really good chat.
man. And this is what I was gonna. You don't know. One thing I want to point out here quickly too is you don't know Christian Chapman.
No, I don't.
Okay,
No.
so it doesn't matter that he doesn't know him if anybody's listening, but what matters is this thought of oversaturation in the industry. Okay, both of these guys live in the UK. Both of these guys are incredibly successful coaches, and both of them make lots of money. They don't even know each other.
Nah.
Okay, so there is no saturation in the market. That is created in your mind also. There's plenty to go around for everybody. So
No,
if you're
no,
scared of like
massively.
starting an endeavor, like a cookie business, but there's already 20 cookie businesses, it doesn't matter. No one knows about your cookie business, and your cookie business could be the one that blows up, right? So stop thinking the scarcity mindset. Just put yourself out there. People want you for who you are, right?
Absolutely. What a fucking awesome thing to finish on, my man. Yeah, like, I'm definitely gonna look up Christian. Is it Chapman or Chatman?
Chapman.
Chapman. Right, I'm gonna look
Yeah,
him
yeah,
up.
yeah, oh yeah, he's a gent. He's an
Love it.
absolute stud. Very good bodybuilding coach. So, yeah, I mean, it's like it's a huge world, right? And even in the UK, it's heavily populated. But
Yeah.
like I follow Christian, he knows lots of people in like his circle. I know people in his circle. I know you, people in your circle, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
this is the thing. Sometimes those two circles of like great plethoras of people don't even know each other
No.
exist,
No.
right?
Yeah.
So
And we're probably about a 20-minute drive away from each other because UK's so small.
yeah, who knows? You might even pass him on the road. Like you
Yeah,
never
you
know,
know
right?
it. Absolutely, mate. Thank you for having me on, bro. That was fucking a pleasure. Like, yeah, be great to jump on again at some point and
For
roll it
sure.
again,
We'll
mate.
run it up again, and I'll tag your social profiles in all the descriptions. So if anybody's looking for my man here, can find him, hit him up. He's definitely a good guy to talk to. Definitely knows his stuff in the functional health space.
Boom. Thank you, my brother.
Boom. All right, my man. Have yourself an amazing night, and
And you, bro.
we'll, we'll talk to you guys soon.